rows and 16 columns. So here it will start from 0, 1, 2, etc. 9. After that A, B, C, D, E, F. As it is hexadecimal. Okay. Similarly on this side also 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. 9. After that A, B, etc. F. So for all those things S box is constructed. There is a strategy to construct S box which we are not going to do it. Okay. So S box will be having entries like for example here it is E and A. A is here, which means the meeting point of E and A will be having some value which is 87. 87. Okay. So here you take EA. So E will be of 4 bits, 4 bytes. A will be of again 4 bytes. Okay. So this is to represent the row and this is to represent the column. So you can easily remember when there are two values over here, the first half is used to represent the row and the second half is used to represent the column. Okay. So E, you have to go to E row and then A column. So E is row, A is column. Whatever the value is available in the S box will be considered for the substitution, which means EA entry of your plain text will be substituted by 87. Similarly 0, 4, 0, 0 row, okay, and 4th column, 0th row, 4th column, we have entry as F2. For this only, if you are having book, you can refer easily. Okay, so 0th row, 4th column, you will have entry as F2. So 0, 4 is replaced by F2. Similarly, 6, 5. Row number 6, column number 5 will be having entry as 4D. So the 6, 5 will be replaced by 4D. This is how substitution bytes will be taken place. Okay. So what are all the 4 functions we do in each and every round? Starting with substitution bytes followed by shift rows, mix columns and round key. Right. So first one is substitution byte. This is how we do substitution. Second, shift rows. How do we shift the rows? First row. So you have to consider always a 4 by 4 matrix. Whatever the plain text you take, that will be organized in this form only, 4 by 4 matrix. This we call it as a state array. Okay. So here after the substitution bytes, so this table will be the output of the substitution bytes. If you want, you can just fill the table. It will be of EC 4A, 8C, 6E, 4C, 90, C3, 46, D7, D8, 95, E6. So this is the entire output of after the substitution bytes. So now for the shift rows, this table will be considered as input. Am I right? Right? So this is the input for the substitution bytes. Output of substitution byte is this table. And now this table will be taken as an input for the shift rows. We know the rule to shift rows. First row, we will not do any changes. We won't shift anything. Second row, we will only shift one cell. Towards left, it will be a rotation. And third will be 2 bytes or 2 cells will be shifted. And last row will be 3 cells will be shifted. That is how we perform shift rows. So that also is clear. Later, mix column. How do we do mix column? So this might have produced some output. I think you have written already the output of this, or in general only you have written. In the previous class, you have written some output for shift rows. Have you taken this table or we have taken some other table? This matrix only. So this matrix only you have taken. So that is output of shift rows. So next thing is mixed column. How do we do mixed column? We will be taking a fixed 4 by 4 matrix, okay, where the entries will be given and they will be common for all columns, or any blocks, okay. I think I gave you some value for this 4 3 1 1 or something like that. Fixed 2 3 2 3 1 1 2 This is right. Yes. Second row 1 2 3 1. Third row 1 1 2 3. Next 3 1 1 2. So within this 1 2 3 only we are filling up the fixed matrix. So now one column will be taken from this. One by one we will be picking up the column. Okay. Suppose for example as it is I am taking after the shift you have the data, but suppose this is the output of the shift rows. You take the first column. Okay. So first column will be having the value as 87 EC 4886. If this is the case, okay. So we will be multiplying this column with this entire matrix. So how we will multiply that? Only this value will be taken, okay. So this will be multiplied with the entire thing. XR, okay, XR. Like this will be with the full and then XR operation. EC with the full column. Then again XR operation. Like that we will be performing mixed column multiplication. Okay. So one value will be multiplied with all. Then XR operation. EC multiplied with all. XR operation. 4A multiplied with all. XR operation. And then final. Okay. So this is the operation. They may not be giving you problem on this. If at all they give only a few steps, they will not give the entire linear algorithm as a problem. Okay, only some shift rows or some particular part only will be given. So now mixed column is also done. So the left out is only add round key. Adding round key is not a bit complicated. Only thing the key will be expanded. So we need to focus on how the key is getting expanded, because same key will be used for all the 11 rounds. Okay. So initial round we say it is a null round. So we start the entire encryption algorithm by adding a round key, followed by all the 10 rounds will be there. First 9 rounds will be having 4 functions: substitution bytes, shift rows, mixed column, and then round key. Like that only the rounds will be followed. Okay. So the last round alone will be excluding the mixed column. Okay, this is the procedure. So now we are going to see the AES key expansion. AES key expansion. How the key will be expanded. Key size will be of 128 bits only. 128 bits will be organized as only 4 words. And each round requires 4 words. Okay, I have only 4 words of key. With this key, I will have to process the entire plain text throughout 11 rounds. How do I do? That is where I require the expansion. This 4 words will be expanded as 44 words. 44 words, because totally there will be 11 rounds. Clear? Okay. So 4 words will be expanded as 44 words. That we will see now. So this is nothing but 176 bytes. The expansion, only one step only will be shown. Like that only all the steps will be expanded. Okay. Key expansion. With a simple diagram, we are going to see the key expansion, our actual key. Always it will be of 4 by 4. Only our S box will be K4, K5, K6, K7, K8, K9, K10, K11. Anything is so important over there? Joining it up. What is the size of one particular cell alone? K13, K14, K15. Four words. Is it so? I am saying the entire thing is of 4 words. 128 bit is organized as 4 by 4 matrix. Then how come one cell alone will be 4 words? Shall we find out and tell me? Total I have given 4 words. I want you to answer the one cell alone. K0 alone. The size of K0. Size of K1. Think over, find out and answer me. Cell consists of one word. One word.
1 to 4 words, each cell 1 word.
Wait. 1 to 4 words. The entire key size itself 128 bit. Okay. So 16 by 4 by 4. 16 cells together only is 4 words. Which means one row, one word only. One row, one word means one cell. What is the size? One word, how many bits? How many bytes? Solunga. What is the size of one word? 8 bits. One byte? Word as well as bit. Word as well as byte is 8 bits only. Okay? So one complete row is of one word. There are 4 cells over here, which means each one will be of 2 bits. 2 bits. So here 2 bits will be very, very small. That is the reason we consider it as word. Okay? A complete word only will be considered for the expansion. We will not be considering 2 bits or 4 bits here separately. Okay? Class में पैसा नहीं है, मैं बहुत तो सभी के क्या जैनी straight line. Copy this. Okay, as I told, it will be considered as a word at a time. Okay. block of one column will be taken and it is viewed as W0. First word. Okay, we don't see it as a row, only as column. K0, K4, K8, K12 is viewed as W0. Similarly, K1, K5, K9, K13 is viewed as W1. Similarly, W2 and W3, this is the actual word what we are getting from the actual key which is going to be expanded. First expansion alone will be shown over here. In the same way, the rest of the words also will be expanded. Okay, right. So how it is getting expanded? W0 is subjected to XOR operation. Okay, with G value. What is G? G is a function. What exactly this G does, that I will explain you. But for time being, G is a function. G takes the entire W. Here it is as 4W is considered for G. It is not W3. Okay, so the entire thing will be taken, which will be given for G. So G is processing this block of word and then giving some output to this XOR. Okay, so output of G is XORed with W0, which will be producing some output which is considered as W4. So W4 is derived from XOR operation, where XOR takes input as one from G function, other one from W0. W0. Okay. Similarly, W1 is processed through XOR operation. Please remember here, only W4 is generated with the help of this G. G has already given a processed data, given it to W4, to the XOR. Okay. Now, this W4 will be given as one input for XOR and this W1 will be taken as other input for XOR. For the first XOR operation to generate W4, W0 is taken and the output of G is taken. Clear? And for W5 onwards, we don't depend on G because G's output is already given for the first level. So we will take output only from W4. W4 will be one input and this W1 will be other input for your XOR operation. Similarly, W2 will be one input, W5 will be another input for this W6. This will be producing W6. And W6 will be given as one input and your W3 will be given as another input, perform XOR operation which will be producing W7. It goes on generating, expanding the key. We have only done from W4 to W7. It will be a continuous process, W8 to W11, W12 to W50, like that it goes on. Okay, till 11th round, because we are processing 11 rounds. So initially we had only 4 words. Those 4 words are expanded as 8 words. That is for the round 1. And again for round 2, from here we will be taking this G function and goes on. Clear? So here just to know, we have given this table also. But then onwards, only this block will be taken. W0, W1, W2, W3 is generating W4, W5, W6 and W7. Similarly, using this, we will be generating next 4 words. Using that, we will be generating next 4 words. Like that, we go on expanding the key. So we are not generating any different key over here. We are only expanding the key from 4 words. We are going on expanding the key till 44 words because we are doing 11 rounds in AES function, AES algorithm. Clear? So this is how key will be expanded. So very important thing here, what exactly this G does. The function of G is again important thing over here. Function G. Function G consists of, I want you to note down, first step, first function is root word. Rotate word. So this performs a one-byte circular left shift on a word. Performs one byte circular left shift on a word. Left shift on a word. This means that an input word, B0, B1, B2, B3 is transformed into B1, B2, B3 and B0. Happening in this function is listen. So G consists of three functions actually. Number one, rotate word. How the rotation is taken place? One by circular left shift on a word. Okay, on a word it will be rotating one by towards left, and it is a circular shift. So when you consider a word as B0, B1, B2, B3, it will be transformed as B1, B2, B3 and B0. Second function in G will be subword. Like how we saw substitution byte in the same way, subword. That is the second function in G. Subword performs a byte substitution. Subword performs a byte substitution on each byte of its input word. Subword performs a byte substitution on each byte of its input word using the S box. Again for this we will be referring our existing S box only. Okay, so we do one shift and then followed by a substitution. Third function is the result of steps 1 and 2. These two we have done already. The result of step 1 and 2 is XOR with a round constant which is named as CON of J. The result of step 1 and 2 is XOR with a round constant called CON. Again, this G also in depth we will not be dealing. We only need to know what are the functions happening within this G. Okay, detail we are not going to see. So what you need to know, how the key is getting expanded. The entire key is organized as a 4x4 matrix in which column wise we will be taking. So each one is considered as one word. So altogether it is 4 words from the input key. That 4 words will be expanded again as another 4 words. Okay, so for that expansion we will be using a function G. This G will be processed or will be performing all the 3 functions. First rotate the word, second substitution of word, followed by XOR with the constant value. This is how key expansion will be taken place on the code. Okay, I hope the entire AES algorithm is done. Can you please pause it? AES algorithm is done. We are discussing about which cipher? We are into discussion of which cipher? Symmetric cipher. There are 2 classification on cipher: symmetric cipher and asymmetric cipher with respect to key. If we are using single key for the encryption as well as the decryption, it is called a symmetric cipher. Okay, which means a common key must be used by both the parties, sender as well as the recipient. Sender will be located in one place, recipient will be located in some other place. Okay, so now key should be used commonly. Same key should be used by both of them. How both will be using same key? right? Both of them must use the same key. That is where we need to discuss about key distribution. Key distribution. Very simple method is that A and B are involved in the transmission. Means when A is going to send or initiate the transmission, A may generate a key and he himself will be able to distribute the key to B. That is, sender will create a key and sender he himself will be distributing the key to B. That is one possibility. Okay, suppose if A is not having a very secured system. A wants to maintain the key securely, but somehow the key is being stolen. So that obviously the data which is getting transmitted to B will be revealed by someone else. Okay, so A is not a 100% trustworthy person. Similarly, the recipient may generate a key. Suppose B wants to get some message. B will be generating a key and he will be giving the key to A. Use my key for the encryption and send me the encrypted data. So that he will be able to decrypt the data. Both will be having the key. Again, whether B is trustworthy or not, always we will have this. When A and B are not mutually, not in mutual understanding, obviously A sometimes may suspect B. So then really B is going to keep the key securely or B may reveal the key to someone else. Similarly, when A is creating a key, B also will be having that suspicion. And that is where we require a third party, a common person. Third party may generate a key who can distribute the key to both of them. Okay, so here A is not a owner of key or B is not a owner of key. For both of them, the third party C will be creating a key and distributing. Again, it becomes a centralized system. Since it is a centralized system, suppose at a particular point of time C fails in distributing the key. A and B are ready for the transmission, but C is not able to provide the key for the transmission. If that is the case, again it will be a problem. Secondly, whether C is trustworthy or not, that also will be a problem. That is where we go for key distribution center. Key distribution center. So here in this session, we are going to see the various key distribution method. We don't say all systems are having flaws, but sometimes in some particular circumstances there may be a flaws. That is the reason we have so many methods. Depending upon the requirement, we may choose any particular system. Okay, so key distribution center, key distribution method. So we will see at least one method in this class. Okay. So as I mentioned, there are a number of ways to distribute key. A can select a key and physically deliver it to B. That is, when A and B are in communication, A can select a key and physically distribute to B. Physically distribute to B. So these are the basic methods. Second way, exactly reverse. B can, so we don't separately see that A or B both are in the communication. So whoever is creating or distributing the key, problem will be same. So what we are going to consider as a second method, a third party. A third party can select a key and physically deliver it to A and B. Okay. So this also is a manual process. Obviously, we may have some suspicion. Now, third method, please take down. If A and B have previously and recently used a key, if A and B have previously and recently used a key, one party can transmit a new key to other. One party can transmit the new using the old key, in a secure manner. Which means what? Already they are in the communication, they have used some key. Okay, using the old key, now the new key can be encrypted. The key can be sent as an encrypted manner because both of them are having old key. Using the old key, he will be encrypting and sending the new key. Similarly, the recipient will be decrypting the new key by using old key. It's clear or no? They had already in the communication. They are already in the communication. They were using some other key for their transmission. Using that key, now any one of them, okay, maybe A may encrypt the new key using the old key and send the new key to the recipient. So that recipient will be able to decrypt the new key and use it. It's clear? This is the third method. And fourth method could be if A and B each has an encrypted connection. If A and B each has an encrypted connection to a third party C, C can deliver the key. C can deliver the key on the encrypted links. C can deliver the key on the encrypted links to A and B. What is the meaning of this? So the earlier case was they had old key using which they encrypted their new key. That is any one party. There we did not involve third party. Okay? Among A and B itself, either A or B will be creating a new key and using the old key they will encrypt it and send the key to the other party. Whereas here you are involving third party, but A is having a secured link to C. Similarly, B is having a secured link to C. Now, C will be selecting a key using the encrypted path, secured link. C will be delivering key to A and B so that A, B, C, only all the three will be knowing the key. Clear? So, these are all the basic ways of selecting a key and transmitting the key. As I mentioned, there are some flaws and in various situations they found some difficulties in those things. That is where they moved on to a centralized system and a systematic approach of selecting a key and distributing it. Okay, so I'll tell you. There are various keys will be used, master key and session key and all. Okay, so session key means that every session when A is going to have a communication with B for a long time. So for the entire session he will not be using a same key. So the transmission will be divided into number of smaller sessions. For each session there will be a separate key will be used. Suppose somebody is watching the communication between A and B. Okay, so he got the key at time T1. If you are not changing the key throughout your session, what will happen? He will be able to easily capture the plain text because he has got the key. But now since you are introducing a session key, you have divided the entire transmission into number of sessions. For each session you are going to use a session key. When you are using so, even if he gets a key of first session, when you are in the transmission of session 3 or 4, even if he is using the key of session 1, he will not be able to get the actual text. That is the ideology of going for session key. So, they will introduce master key and session key and all. Again, there are some problems with that, and that is where systematic key distribution scenario came into picture. Centralized way. Again, in centralized way also, if the centralized method fails, if that system fails, it will be a problem for the entire communication.